So today I will continue talking about the intersection control and type of control. Okay. Lastly, I think I gave you the PDF file. I show you one more time. This one. Okay. This is the traffic engineering handbook. And I said I want to start with the chapter 18 first, because and I will go back and forth. Sorry. Okay, this is the section. I found an interesting link for you that there are many presentations related to highway engineering and other resources. This is what I found. I don't know whether you have ever found this. I think this link is cool. Okay. Slide player. Okay, I got a nice summary of this chapter, the chapter of the intersection control from this link. So it's giving me a lot of time saving for my life to summarize the details of this chapter into these slides, and other resources that can be found in here too. Yeah. So I will pick one that I think is good for you to read, okay? Such as the one that I'm going to show you. Okay. So I downloaded and put it in here. So the chapter 18 is the hierarchy of intersection control, which I think one of the highway engineer and traffic engineer should be focused on. Okay. There are many certain aspects of the highways, okay? But I will start with the intersection first, because in somehow lately, there are many problems at the intersections, especially one in Thailand, where there is no signs or no such control. And another problem is that some controls that they try to put on, like in signals, at night, they didn't use it. So why they didn't use it? Because it's low volume. Nobody wants to, wait for the red. They want to go and pass the intersection by violating the red light. So that's why they turned the light to be the flashing instead. And somehow, like at 2 or 3 a.m., there were collisions on this particular type of intersection. So this two big problems have occurred in many places in Thailand roadways. I want to let you think of if you were a highway engineer, what would you do? Okay, this intersection. So this chapter has the objective, which are to let you know startup control and to tell you that there are many types of control, and the traffic signal control is not a cure. It's not a remedy for the for all kind of intersections. Some places you may want to put just a traffic circle or roundabout, but for those type of controls in Thailand, they may be not very popular. Yeah, there are some places they put them and then they remove them later on. So anyway, you have to make some engineering adjustment a lot for the Thailand's condition. Okay. One of the important uh, aspects that I want you to focus is you need to always check the side distances at the intersection. Why? You will find out later in the few more slides here. Okay, and later on you will learn about warrants for all kind of control. Warrants in Thai means เหตุอันควร okay เหตุอันควร you think of when you want to justify what types of control you want to put on, you need a warrant to make sure that you follow.
อาจาร
Warrant
ย์ครับ
is
ส่ง
kind of
ชีทให้อีกได้ไหมครับ
ชีทนี้เลยใช่ไหมครับ
ครับ
โอเค
ขอบคุณครับ
ครับผม Okay, I send it to Line. Okay. Okay. Is this my screen, right? So any intersection, you will see many conflicts. Okay, if there is no control, there will be conflicts like what you see here. For the three-leg intersection or T intersection, okay, you will find that there are totally 9 conflicts. Okay, the red one is the crossing type, which means it's very dangerous for this kind of conflict. The merging type is less severe, but somehow is a conflict too. And the diverging type, which is the less is the soft severe, okay, but is the at least 9 for the intersection, okay. However, for 4 legs or 4-way intersection, there will be 32 conflicts, especially crossing conflicts, which is about 16 of them. So if you follow the the diagram, you will find out where are the conflicts. In the middle of the intersection, somehow there are many cases that you know you found it in Thailand. I show you. I don't know, some of you may seen this one already. Okay. Sound.
ต่างด้วยนะครับอย่างเหตุการณ์นี้เกิดขึ้นในพื้นที่ราชบุรีครับเป็น4แยกหนึ่งก็ไม่ใช่ถนนสายหลักเป็นถนนสายรองนะฮะที่จะข้ามแยกแล้วก็เป็นเส้นทางเลี่ยงผ่านไปได้เนี่ยแต่ว่าจุดแยกเนี้ยชาวบ้านในพื้นที่เขาเรียกว่าแยกผีสิงเกิดอุบัติเหตุบ่อยมีคนเจ็บคนตายบ่อยแล้วมีรถตู้จากกรุงเทพมาจะไปกาญจนบุรีต้องผ่านจุดนี้เดี๋ยวท่านไปชมไปดูนะครับว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นครับนี่ฮะ
โอ้
เต็มเลยรถบรรทุกพ่วง10 ล้อกับรถตู้คันที่กำลังจะข้ามแยกคือถ้าจะถามว่าตรงไหนเป็นเส้นหลักของตรงจุดนี้เนี่ยเลนหลักก็จะเป็นฝั่งที่มาจากทางตรงนะฮะนี่ฮะแล้วอีกทางหนึ่งเนี่ยก็จะข้ามก็ไม่ได้มีใครหยุดเลยอ่ะนะครับเหตุการณ์นี้ทำให้ผู้
What do you think? Did you see the clip? Hello?
เห็นแล้วครับผม
Okay. What do you think about this intersection? Can you kindly guess and explain from the from the physical, I mean, road geometry? What do you think? I'll share the screen. Okay. If you seen from this angle, this is from the CCTV angle. You may not see all the signs very well, but it's clear that the van did not stop at all because maybe the driver was not familiar with this area. Second, there is no such a sign that clear enough that they should stop at the intersection. And third, there are many obstacles, that could prohibit the driver of the van to see the oncoming vehicle, which this one is a truck, a semi-trailer truck. So it's very difficult for the truck to stop if it's loaded. I think this one is loaded. So This is a safety factor that one should understand and should be cautioned when you design a roadway and to put a proper traffic control. So if there were proper traffic controls at the intersection, this accident wouldn't have happened. What do you think? Other things that I've looked on this road is they are very unclear of road marking. If you were not familiar on this road, on the design of the road, you may not be able to say very clearly, but from my experience, road markings are very important. The stop line should be clear. The center line should be clear. Okay. Flashing light should be put there, or even if this one is still not under the warrant, okay, to put the signal, then some other control should be placed in, right? Like a stop sign, for example. So in here, give you a lot of idea why I want you to think of intersection control. So not the only diagrams that I show, driver ability, like those examples. If there are enough side distances for them, for either the truck driver or the van driver be able to stop ahead, then that collision wouldn't occur. So there are two factors affecting a driver's ability. Okay. One is a driver must be able to see a potential conflicting vehicle or pedestrian in time to be able to avoid the collision. That means to be able to brake and safe stopping. Secondly, the volume levels that exist must present reasonable opportunities for a safe maneuver to take place. That means the road you are crossing or entering has an enough gap for you to get in. If these two are not met, then as a highway engineer or traffic engineer, you need to consider some other methods to protect this driver. Okay, there are three levels of the control. So the first level is the passive control. So it's a basic rule of the road. This one, it may be okay in the United States, but I think it's very, very dangerous, like situation that you just saw in Thailand. Okay. No control. No control means it's maybe a street in a residential area, in residential area, it's just very low volume. Okay. You place only guide sign or warning sign without a guide sign. Warning like intersection ahead, but there's no such a U control or stop controls. For the level 2, you have given assignment of right of way to major street of rotational right of way. Rotational right of way means, roundabout. For major streets or major roads, most of the time they are bigger and high volumes. Okay. So the minor street, or in Thai we say soy, okay. ถนนที่ออกจากซอย this may have less traffic, but it's not always T intersection. Maybe it's the 4-leg intersection. Okay. In level 2, you have to consider whether you want to put a U control, a two-way stop control, or always stop control. Always stop control means you put the stop sign on each direction, on all directions. And the third level, which is the highest one, okay, highest control, which means you put the traffic signals. Maybe you have an officer to be, to control that intersection. But mostly it's the first one, which is the traffic signals. Okay. The traffic signals can be performed well or not well, depends on how you design the facing according to the traffic volumes on each direction. Somehow, you have to learn some of the definition a little bit about the traffic signals, but I will go on later. But if you learn about the definition a little bit, you will understand a lot more about how to make the signal control a lot better. Mostly when you put the signal control, the trade-off is there will be more vehicle delays. Okay. So that is the trade-off. Okay. So let's come to the basic rule of road. Okay. The basic rule of road is identified as the sight distance. When we talk about sight distance, we talk about the ability that driver can see potential hazard on oncoming or on the triangle on the corner like this. So from the picture you see here, this is the major road, okay, on the horizontal, and this is the minor road. Okay. As I stated earlier, the minor road may be, crossing the major road, or it's just soy. Okay, just get out of this side only. This area presume is the obstacle, like trees, buildings, or even a tent. Okay, somehow there a lot of them becomes the buildings, so that gives you the idea that the stopping, the sight distance may not be enough for those drivers to make a safe stopping, braking. According to the similarity of the triangle rule. Okay, there are 3 triangles. Okay, the big one 1, 4, 7, the small one 1, 3, 2, and this small one 6, 4, 5. Okay, you can find the distance of the before collision of this vehicle B, dB, okay, as equivalent to A times dA, which is the distance from front bumper to the point of collision here, okay, divided by dA minus B. B is the distance from vehicle B to the object. When you draw this, you have to make sure that the line of sight of the driver is be able to pass through the building here. If there's no building, of course, the line of sight can be a lot longer. So dB would be much higher, okay? What you need to do is you have to find the minimum dB. Okay. Let's go to the each step. Okay. So from AASHTO recommendation, which stated in page number 412 on that article I sent to you earlier. Okay, this slide, follow chapter 18 and stated as a reference very well. Okay, so you can go back and look through that article, look through that text again. Step 1, assume that the vehicle A right here is on the minus street. Okay, it's located one step side distance from the collision point, which is dA. dA can be defined from this equation. 1.47 times speed of vehicle A times stopping, time of decision. Okay, T is equivalent to 2.5 seconds. Okay. So before they hit the brake, this first portion is the decision before hitting the brake. Okay, but this second one is the distance. Okay, when you hit the brake already. T is grade. Okay, if this intersection is flat, T is 0. So from this equation, you can find dA. Okay. On the step 2, based on the assumed position, determine the actual location of vehicle B. Okay. When it first becomes visible, we call it dB act. Okay. Act stand for actual. So you use dA in this equation, multiply by A. Okay. A, this is the distance here, okay, and divided by dA minus B, you find dB act. However, you need to compare dB act and dB min, which can be found by the same equation like dA here too. But you need to make sure that dB act is greater than dB min, so they can stop the car, safely before hit vehicle A. So that was the first rule, okay? The first rule. So this rule is like before it happened, okay? You have safe braking distance. This one is almost like it's a near missed collision. So the vehicle A has passed the vehicle B, but at least the front bumper passed to the collision point at least 18 feet. However, the front bumper of the vehicle B, still have about 12 feet before hitting the vehicle A. So from this rule, another equation should be also checked too. 1.468, this is not rounded. Actually, it's 1.47 as well. Okay. dB can be is equivalent to this group of parameters. Okay. S is speed, okay, of vehicle A and B. Okay. According to those equations, if you found that dB act, okay, is less than dB min, then what you should do? Then no control cannot be permitted, which means you have to do something. You have to put a stop sign, or maybe consider, putting the speed limit on the major street, okay, or remove the obstacles to increase the side distance. Okay. These trees. Okay. From this point, any questions? So from the clip that you just saw, if that vehicle, if the van came earlier, just a few more seconds, they will miss that truck. Okay, almost collision, but somehow it's not that case. Okay, and it's not always lucky like that to have a near miss collision. As an engineer, you have to do something. Okay. Okay. On page 412, there is an example problem. So this slide also brought that up in here. From what you see, this is the minor street is a one-way street, okay, but the major street has two cars. One is vehicle B and another one is vehicle C. Okay. So given that these are parameters of each vehicles and the distance between them. So from what you learned from the equation, you should follow the step to calculate the numbers. So find out the distance A first. So the distance A can be found as 1.47 times 30 miles per hour times 2.5 decision making, okay, seconds, plus 30 miles per hour square divided by 30 times 0.348, because there is no grade. Okay, the distance A is about 196.5 feet. Okay, this is the US customary. Haven't converted into metrics yet. So when you use this equation, you have to be careful. Okay, look at the unit properly. On the step 2, find the distance B for the actual. So the actual can be found as A times dA divided by dA minus B. So you know that dA is 196.5. Okay. So dB act is equivalent to 25.4 feet. Step 3, okay, you just look at vehicle B only, right now, but don't forget to look at the vehicle A, the vehicle C too later on. Okay, but this one we look at A and B. So from here, there's 2 rules. Find the minimum of distance B in rule number 1. Okay, so you can find that is 300.3 feet, and with the rule number 2, which is near miss collision, is about 298 feet, almost very close, just 2 feet, 2.3 feet. Okay. Anyway, we found that the dB act is not enough, right? Compared to the dB min on both rules, which means you've got to do something. Okay. So, and on this slide, there's another problem. Maybe you can use this problem as your homework. Okay, this is four leg intersection. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a one way anymore. And this is an obstacle. This is also an obstacle. Wheat field, barn. You can try as your homework for 18.1, okay? Which is not hard to do. Okay, that's the first level. So if it's not enough, right, go back to recommendations here. So you have to do something with this. Okay. Find out which one is most proper. Sometimes, you know, number 3 is quite difficult. As I said, it's just a huge building. How can you remove building? Right? You may need to put a signal control Eve is under the warrant. Okay, I will go further with the warrant later. So for the second level, which is level 2, the yield and stop control. Anyhow, for the Thailand situation, I found that this is very hard to apply because not many people follow this stop control. You know, according to the law of sine, stop control is actually the first one of the sine control. Do you believe that? I want to find out. Okay. Share. Okay. You see that? Bonin. Oh. Okay. Good. Bonin. ให้ทางบ2 This is U sign. Okay. บ1ย่อมาจากบังคับเห็นไหมกำหนดสิทธิ์บ1ถึงบ3เป็นป้ายชุดแรกเลยป้ายกำหนดสิทธิ์บ4ถึงบ36ใบไม้คือบังคับนะฮะเป็นป้ายห้ามหรือจำกัดสิทธิ์การห้ามคือจะมีขีดขวางนะครับ crossing. Okay. So and the third one is ป้ายบังคับประเภทคำสั่ง ordering. Okay. So the tile color changed. Okay. The last one บ55ป้ายสิ้นสุดการควบคุม Okay. So just want to let you see that how important of the stop and U control. For me, I feel like this control has been neglected. So the stop or U sign should be used at an intersection if one or more of the following conditions exist. A, an intersection of a less important road with a main road where application of the normal right-of-way rule, the first one, okay, would not be expected to provide reasonable compliance with the law. Condition B, a street entering a designated through highway. Or C, an unsignalized intersection with a signalized area. C is like area where there are many intersection control with applied with the signalized control there, and there are some intersection inside where there's no signal. So you will put this view of stop control in there. Okay. For the two-way stop signs, so the two-way stop sign, we will put them on the minor road, okay, the minor street, stated here. Okay. Typically, they don't want you to put always stop, okay, unless it's necessary. So you put less restricted first, which is two-way stop. So the condition of stop sign will be met if an engineering judgment, okay, engineering judgment again indicates that a stop is always required because one or more of the following conditions, one ABC, okay. A vehicular traffic volumes on through street or highway, the main street, is exceeding 6,000 vehicles per day. A restricted view exists, like a circle that we talked earlier. So that requires road user on the minor street approach to stop in order to find the gap or adequate observation on the conflict traffic. Oops. And see, there were crash records, incident record, 3 or more crashes at this location. Okay. So, and there are more details of this too. Okay. Like if there are stop sign already placed in, you may within 1 year, okay, or 5 or more crashes has been reported in 2 years. Something, you know, about accident. You want to put this size before determining whether you're gonna put intersection control with the traffic light. Okay. This is the example problem, okay, for stop control. There will be something for you to understand. So DA stop is equivalent to 18 plus DCL. Okay, where is the 18 come from? The 18 from these two numbers, 10 feet, okay, and the 8 feet. 10 come from the edge of curve to the stop line. Okay. And the 8 feet from the front bumper to the driver. Okay. If there is a stop sign, okay, right here, if you see my mouse, okay, a stop sign here. From this stop, I'm sorry, the stop sign or stop line, okay? Line means the road pavement marking on the road, okay? Mostly the stop line and the stop sign should be placed together. Okay. So if there is a stop line here, 10 foot is from here to the front bumper, and 8 foot or 8 feet, okay, from the front bumper to the driver eyes. Okay, that's it. The DCL, okay, is the distance from curb line to the center of the process travel lane from the direction under consideration. Okay. That means if we consider vehicle number B here, and there is a 2-lane road here, one each direction, DCL would be the width of this lane plus half of the width of this lane. Okay. This is DCL. Okay. On your right here, this is the example. Okay. If you cannot see well, you can look at the detail on that text. But okay. The problem on this is they want to find out vehicle B here and another vehicle B here, okay, but it's places on the different angles. Okay. If this is a minor street and the vehicle A is approaching to this intersection, okay, we want to find out whether it's adequate or not. Okay. Okay. It says here, for most stop control intersection, the design vehicle is the passenger car, and the criteria of left turns are used because they are the most restrictive. Trucks or combination vehicles are considered only when they make up a substantial proportion in the total traffic. That means this criteria majority used with the all passenger cars. But if the fleet on highways have like number of trucks, you may need to consider with other controls. Okay. So why use for right turn and through movements are used when no left turn movement is present? AASHTO recommend use of TG 7.5. Okay. Where's the TG? Okay. TG is time gap. Okay, time gap is ranged from, I think, let me see. .5 to 12.5 seconds, but the recommended number is 7.5 seconds. Okay. So it's a 12-foot lane, right? 12 This is what? 6, right? So 12 plus 6 is 18. So the A stop from the right is 18 plus 18, 36 feet. This one, CL is 6, right? Because it's just half of the lane. So 18 plus 6 is 24 feet. So the minimum side distance required for vehicle B can be found from the equation 18.5 using the time gap 7.5 seconds. So the B min is 1.47 times 40 mile per hour times 7.5, which is 441 feet. Now identify the actual distance for vehicle B. Okay, B actual can be found from the equation 18.1. 36 times 24. Okay, 36, which is dA, right? Times 24 divided by 24 minus 20. This is 20 here. Is 216 feet, which is less than 441. But the B act for the right vehicle is 16 times, they have a correction here, 36, right? From here. This number is wrong. So 16 times 36 divided by 36 minus 35. 35 is the distance from here. So according to this, the distance for vehicle B from the left is less than 441. So that means you've got to do something, right? So from sorry that I have to go back and forth a bit. So they said in this case, the majority of vehicle B approaching from the left is not giving you the sufficient side distance to meet the criteria. Okay. So this would indicate there was no side obstruction from the direction analyzed. So where the stop sign side distance criteria is not met, it is recommended that the recommendation put it here. Speed limit reduction should be posted to the level that allow appropriate side distance to the minor speed. Removal or cutting back of side obstruction is also potential solution. But this is often impossible in developed areas where buildings are the principal obstructions. Right here. Okay. So stop sign category is not met. What you do? Lower the speed limit. Removing things that obstacle. But as stated here, if this happened in the city, then that would be out of control, right? At this point, is there any questions?
ไม่มีครับ
ขอบคุณครับ มีเสียงตอบด้วย ขอบคุณครับ Okay. The U sign. Okay, U sign. If I don't know, have you ever seen U signs on our road network in Thailand? Where do you think they mostly taken place? You think?
ไม่เคยเห็นครับ
They're mostly placed near the roundabout. U sign shall be used to assign runway at the entrance to a roundabout. Also, when you have a channelization of the lane, like in Thailand, if you have the a channelization of the left turn lane, there will be a U sign. I want to find out whether nearby my workplace there is the U sign or not. Just a moment, please. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, when I talk about exclusive left turn lane, okay, right here, this is exclusive left turn, okay? This one has no signal to turn left, okay? So they should have a U sign nearby here. This one, this side. This is in Bangkok, okay? One. There's no such sign now. Okay. Anyhow. This one has no U sign as well. How to have a U sign over here. One over here. Oh, did I share you? I didn't share. I haven't shared you, right? Oh, sorry. How come I didn't see my? Okay, got it. Okay. You see the U sign? High time. So yeah. I thought about this is exclusive left turn. Okay. Exclusive left turn. So there's no need to stop, but most of the time you have to be careful of merging. On this side, there's no exclusive left turn, but it's put the sign said you ให้รถทางขวาไปก่อน because this is a dedicated right turn, so they have to wait for the signal. There any other place? Okay. There's no, it's exclusive lane too, turn only, right? Besides no U sign. I'm wondering. This sign called chevron sign. Chevron. ป้ายเตือนทางโค้ง Okay. Sideway. Sorry. For the U sign, according to criteria A, B, C, or D, and E. Okay, these are the criteria to put the U sign by high time. Okay. For the multi-way stop control or all-wave stop control, you will look at the criteria here. So A is where traffic control signals are justified. Okay, that means when you consider the volumes and the signal control should be placed, but you have to wait because there may be no budget. You can put the multi-way stop sign or always stop sign as an interim measure before getting the installation of the traffic control signal. There were 5 or more reported crashes in 12 months period. Okay. Number 3, the minimum volumes. Consider this, okay? The vehicle volumes entering the intersection from the major street approach on both approach, okay, both directions. Average at least 300 vehicles per hour for any 8 hours of an average day. Okay, that means on any 8 hours, at least 300 vehicles per hour using this section of the road. The condition is stay here, and the combined vehicular, pedestrian, bicycle volumes entering the intersection from minor street approach. Okay. Totally on both approach, at least 200 units for the same 8 hours. Okay. That means if, for example, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., for example, there were 300 vehicles per hour on major street, and pedestrian and vehicles or bicycle combined on minor street on both approach, at least 200 in total in the same hour. Okay, in the same hour, then you will consider to put multi-lane. I'm sorry, multi-way stop control. Okay. The condition number 3 here, you will find it a little more confusing. Okay, but compared to this, in some cities, in some areas, there may be, less traffic, but people driving fast. 85% time of average speed on Main Street exceed 40 miles per hour. So if, for example, the major street posted speed is 40 miles per hour, but 85 of the average people do not follow 40 mile posted speed. Okay. Then you will be able to consider lesser number of the volume stated in C1 and C2. So you can reduce by 30%. So from level 2, okay, let's summarize. View sign, 2-way stop sign, always stop sign. Okay. These are considerations or what we call warrants. If these numbers are met, you will put the always stop signs. However, as I mentioned earlier, level 2 is very difficult to apply in Thailand road network. We found that we either put the stop on the minor street and no yield. Very few yield sign you will find. Just put the stop on the minor street and all above that, they put the signal. The cost of installation for a signal on a small intersection would be about 3.5 million baht. However, someone said to save one fatality, that would be a lot more, cost effective. My second homework for you is find out, okay, the cost of fatality per person in Thailand. Okay, that two homeworks for you already. Okay, one is those example. Second is find out the cost of fatality per person in Thailand. That's a hint I want to tell you. Okay. Actually, the cost for different types of injury. Okay, like fatality is the most severe one, right? Second is disabled, means those who get injured and become disabled, no longer be able to have a normal life. Maybe they lost their legs, arms, those kind of things. The third one is severe injury. Maybe not lost legs or arms, but they have to take like 3 to 6 months to recover. Okay. And then minor injury, maybe just, some scratch, maybe your head bump to something, not much, injury. And the last one is property damage only. Property damage only means just the bumper of the car, maybe some, highway property got damaged, like concrete barrier, guardrails, poles, those kind of things. But no one gets injured. This is what we call property damage. Range from that. Okay. But my question is, find out the cost of one if involved in a crash and later on die. Okay. Okay. Come back to the level 3 control. The level 3 control, we talked about traffic control signals. Okay. The warrants and criteria for this is quite complicated, but I would not get you in detail that much, but I want you to understand some basic concept. Okay, you don't have to remember, because when you if you are a designer to put the signal, you will open the charts, you will open the criteria anyway again. But I want you to understand how it works. Okay. Let's talk about the advantages of the traffic signal first. Okay. So it provides the orderly movement of traffic. Of course, each direction get the permit to go from the green light and prohibited to go from the red light. Increasing the traffic handling capacity of the intersection if applied properly. Okay. And physical layout is conducted. So if it's a big intersection without traffic control, it will be a chaos, because there will be no one, it's because of the ordering of the traffic, right? So they give you the priority of one to go and switch. So it's handling the capacity better than the stop control or the yield control. Depends on the traffic volume, okay? In the low volumes, it may not. It's giving you more delay, okay, on the low volume. That's the one I want to emphasize. It helps reduce the frequency and severity of certain types of crashes, especially right angle collision. But in Thailand, we will talk about left angle collision. Provide the continuous and nearly continuous movement at a definite speed when coordinated. So if there are several intersections together, okay, you'll be able to control the movement of the flow by putting the signal in coordinate. We call it synchronization. Okay. One may see in urban area, you can see the green light, you know, and the vehicle can go through the corridor without stopping, giving you a better, you know, traffic condition. It's also used to interrupt heavy traffic at intervals to permit another traffic or pedestrian. Without traffic control, pedestrian would be difficult to cross the street. But Thailand's condition is in minority. We use the pedestrian crosswalk. However, as I mentioned earlier, last class, it's very difficult to place a pedestrian crossover on our street. Okay. The reasons were, okay, somehow the owners along, you know, that area not giving you the permission to install the pedestrians crossover because it's blocking their access or their view. This is one of the most common problems. It's not because of the cost of construction. The construction cost is just 8 to 10 million baht per location. You know. But however, it's more difficult to find, you know, a place that proper. Some, you know, you may find that there's no one used it because it's too far from where people normally cross. So they didn't use pedestrian crossover. For example, if you place them, you know, from school greater than 200 meters, you will less likely see students use those, you know. Even they said they will hire policemen to wave to block the traffic during the rush hour period in the on the major streets. Okay, disadvantages. Okay, excessive delay if the timing is improper, you know, set up. Excessive disobedience of signal indications when red interval is improper or too long. Okay, maybe is encouraged red light running. This is what I mentioned previously. You know, somehow if they put wrong timing at night, late at night is too long. Okay, then there will be someone, you know, violated red signal. What they do is they, instead of turn on them, they give the light to be the flashing light instead. So let the drivers decide whether they should stop or they should go. Red flashing is equivalent to stop sign. Yellow flashing is equivalent to yield sign. Okay. So if you see the yellow flashing, that means you are driving on the major road. Okay. Just have to look for something that may come up. Okay. In Thailand, if you notice when you drive along the road and you see the flashing, yellow flashing, you have to realize that that is a sign that there will be something coming up, and you should be able to get ready to, press the brake, and that's called the, the precaution for you to do. But if you see the red flashing, that means you should stop at the flashing light. Okay. For Thai drivers, mostly I don't know whether they understand this well or not. Somehow they may not stop on the red flashing at all. So I need to tell you this because you should be careful about driving in our environment. Increased use of less adequate routes as road users attempt to avoid traffic. Okay, the third one indicates that if there are many signals placed on a corridor, there will be a number of people feel that they don't want to use this road because they have to stuck in the traffic jam on traffic signal too long. The fourth one is significant increases in frequency of rear-end collision. Of course, there was something to stop traffic. There will be someone, if they were on the phone talking or texting, then they would have the rear-end collision. Okay. At this point, what time is it now? Okay, about I want to, maybe we should take 10 minutes break, okay? And we'll come back to continue a little more on the warrants. And I want to show you something about the real-time traffic signal. Okay, 10 minutes back. So right now is 1940. Please come back at 1950. Okay, and we'll continue later. ขออนุญาตต่อเลยนะครับ
ครับอาจารย์
โอเคขออนุญาตต่อเลยนะครับจะได้เสร็จไว้แล้วเดี๋ยวรีบไปกินข้าวกันถ้าคนไหนยังไม่ได้ทานเมื่อกี้ okay we stop here at the warrant for traffic. These are requirements for data that one should get from the field, okay, especially traffic volumes. So to be able to determine whether you can you'll be able to use the traffic signal. Traffic volume on this condition should be met. Okay. So count the traffic at least 12 consecutive hours on each approach. Nowadays, counting the traffic is not easy anymore. We don't use human to count. We can use machine like CCTV or some detectors, and giving you very accurate traffic counting. From the warrant from this one, it said 24 hours count is preferable. That is to cover 2 peak periods. Okay? Peak periods mostly happen during the AM and the PM peak. Okay? During AM peak, we usually count at least 2 hours, and each hour you count, we divide in four periods. Okay? So we talk about 15 minutes count. Okay? For example, from 6 AM to 6:15, that's what we call 15 minutes count. 6:15 to 6:30, 6:30 to 6:45, 6:45 to 7 o'clock. That's the AM. That's 1 hour, right? So when you count AM and PM is 4 hours in total. Pedestrian count should be count in each crosswalk. Okay? During 4 hours. At the same of item number 2. Okay, at the same of item number 2. Number 4, information on the nearby facilities such as people in all age, like elderly, young, or disabled, should be also collected. Okay? Facilities like school, this type of thing, hospital should be also collected. One of the things that people normally miss it is the 85 percentile speed. Okay, 85 percentile speed. Posted speed is different. Okay, posted speed or suggested speed is the one that put it on the sign. Okay, but people tend to drive a little bit faster than the posted speed. So at the 85 percentile speed is something that is the normal speed that most people drive. To find out what the definition of 85 percentile speed, I want you to get it as a third homework. Okay, find out what is the definition of 85 percentile speed. Okay, so there are three questions already in total. Okay. For number 6, 7, and 8, you will have to look up the chapter 11 for condition diagram, collision diagram. So you have to record the geometry, number of lanes, those kind of things. Whether there are any exclusive lanes like I just showed you, or maybe there are, it's hard to say there will be the exclusive lane or not, because if there usually when we talk about exclusive lane, that means it's a huge intersection and they gonna put the signal already in. Okay, I'm sorry. One another thing that you may need to understand the definition, which is called stop delay, okay, for vehicle. So stop delay is the delay at a vehicle stopped at either at the intersection or sometime during the pass through the point. Okay. The stop delays will be prolonged if there were so many cars waiting, like number of queues coming. The total delay will be the summation of all vehicle delays in that intersection. Okay. Gaps, speed limits will be also observed. Pedestrian delay, you will look at least to 30 minutes peak during pedestrian delay periods. Queue length at the stop control approach. Okay. That thing will be also collected in order to identify the warrants, identify whether whether it's met the warrants or not. Okay. In MUTCD, Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Device, okay, that is the what it stands for, MUTCD, Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. In the version 2009 has placed 9 warrants for this traffic signal. Okay. It said that this is just guidance, okay, guidance, not specs. So still engineering judgment required. Okay. During for the first 3 warrants is all about vehicular volumes. Okay, vehicular volumes. 4th, 5th, about pedestrian volumes, okay, including school crossing. The warrant number 6 is a little bit different. This is what we talked earlier about coordination of the signal system. If there are, nearby signals already in place, then coordination of the new signal line intersection on particular intersection that you are forecasting may be required. Warrant number 7 talked about accident or crash experiences. Okay. It is roadway network, and the 3rd and the 9th is the intersection near a highway rail crossing. So if there were a railroad crossing, warrant 9 will take place. Okay. So when you count the volume, especially the vehicular volumes, 1, 2, 3 should be considered. According to MUTCD, okay, warrant 1 state that during 8 hours, okay, the minimum vehicle volume per hour in these 8 hours should be met. We call 8-hour vehicular volume. Okay, under the condition A. Okay? Under the condition A, there are 2 conditions, A and B. We talked about the geometric here. The number of lanes of moving traffic on each approach. Left columns state about major street, and the right column state about minor street. Okay. Each approach. Okay. So If there are 2 or more, and the minus street is 1, we will look at this row. Okay. The second big column here, we look at the major street. So the volume in total in both approaches. Okay. For example, if the major street is along the horizontal, we may talk about eastbound and westbound. Okay. The total both of eastbound and westbound are 100% here, 600 vehicle per hour. Okay. We have to meet over here. Okay. But the minor street just take only one direction, the one that has the higher one. Okay. If the minor street is aligned on the north and south, okay, maybe on the northbound that has the higher volume than the southbound, then you pick only northbound to be considered. Whether to pick 180 or 70, okay, should be considered like this. Condition A, okay, if we pick condition A, we have to take 100%. Or if we take the condition B, okay, we need to take this 100% as well. A and B is different slightly, okay. Condition A said is the minimum vehicular volume. Condition B is interrupted of continuous traffic. So this is like the intersection that is aligned along nearby other intersections. Okay. It's got interruption of continuous flow of traffic. But if you pick either A or B, you select, okay, 1, which is 100%. Okay, but somehow, if it's not met in 100%, you have to find, the compromise, which you can allow to meet using 80% of the total of the traffic. Okay, 80% of the traffic, but both condition A and B must be met together. Okay, must be met together. Okay, come back first. You pick A or B. Okay, pick A or B. Use 100%. A and B, you can pick 80%. The last one, 70%. This is in the area where, the population is less than 1,000 people. Small city, okay, small city. Or 85 percentile, okay, of the speed, okay, 85 percentile of the user speed is greater than 40 miles per hour. Take the 70% here. Okay. That's it. Okay. This is just warrant 1. This is just warrant 1. Okay. Warrant 1 has 2 conditions. Only in exceptional cases, when none of these warrants are satisfied, but the first 2 warrants of warrant 1 are satisfied, the extent of 80% of the stipulated volume. Okay, this is what I just talked about earlier. Signal warrant, when we pick the 80%. Okay. That is the 8-hour condition, okay, the minimum condition in all these. Okay. For the 4-hour volumes. Okay, 4-hour volumes condition. This one, you have to check each of the 4 hours on the average day. And if this warrant shall be met, okay, then a signal control can be placed. At least 4 hours, okay, during these 4 hours, at least, okay, this number should be met. Major street on the total approaches. The top graphic here, this is under normal condition. During the normal condition, and the lower one is during the small community. Okay, in the small community here on this one. Normal condition, major street. We talked about vehicle per hour. If look at this graphic, okay, there are certain lines. The bottom line means 1 lane and 1 lane. Okay, 1 lane and 1 lane. Major lane is 1 lane per approach, and the minor lane is 1 lane per approach. 2 or more lane and 1 lane means the major lanes are 2 or more. The minor lane is 1 lane. And the third one is 2 or more on both minor and majors. Okay. You find that if it's above the line, okay, when you count the traffic on the major and the minor, and if it's intersect and they are above these lines, okay, then you can install the traffic control. And the bottom one, as I said, is the criteria for the population less than 1,000 people, or the major street speed at 85th percentile is greater than 40 miles per hour. The third warrant is still about volume. Okay, this one we talked about peak hour. During one period, just 1 hour of a day, okay, is very bad delay. Okay, for example, it's very severe delay. Then this condition here can be met. Similar to the warrant number 2, this is just 1 hour. If it's greater than the above line, then this warrant is met. Come back here. Under 9 warrants here, if either one is met, okay, if either one is met, then a signal control can be installed. So some may find that there are many crashes at this intersection. I mean, more than 5 crashes per year. Then they put a signal here. However, it's going to be very hard to say that just this warrant in Thailand, when they fixed it with the signal, somehow they made the disappearance of crash has gone. However, there were some delays happen. So at night, they started to use the flashing instead, and still the accidents still occur because of that. So warrant 4, okay, school, coordination, crashes, roadway network, and railroad crossing. I just give you the idea that this should be considered. But as I mentioned, you may just be able to open and look up. Yeah. But I just stated, emphasized on the the first 3 warrants. Okay. From here, I want to share with the other thing. I want you to see this just a Okay, can you see this graphic? Okay, this graphic shows some of the intersection that installed using the what we call traffic camera to operate the traffic control. So this, if you look at the road here, this is in Phra province, okay, and this is one of the major road. Even though this is the 4-digit road only 10323, it's a 4-digit road, but when it passed through the city, the traffic is quite heavy. We use those warrants to identify, and then we found that they should put the signal. Once we put the signals, we use what we call the adaptive control to control the traffic. Right now is about 8:15 p.m. and there's no traffic anymore. Okay. The signals is giving the green light on this side. Okay, right here, what you see is the real-time traffic condition. มาจากแยกป่าแดง on this side only. Okay, this side, there's no traffic right here, but it's gonna be green all the time unless there will be a traffic coming at this intersection. If there is, it's programming right here at 47, maximum at 47 seconds. The actual is already 42. Okay, it's met 47 already. Okay, it's met already, but there's no traffic still. It's giving you the green light all the time. And now come back to the second phase, which is มาจากบ้านเรา is on this side. Okay. No, it skipped. I'm sorry, it skipped. It's giving to the higher one, which is on the มาจากบางตลาด, this one, but still no traffic. Okay, now it's back to this one, giving majority on Phra Daeng. So in the normal operation, the traffic light will be, switched back and forth in all legs. But at this time, there's no traffic at all. Yeah, there is just one traffic that's coming from Bang Talat, and the signal is smart enough to give the green light to that vehicle without waiting for a long time. Right now, it's back to มาจากแยกป่าแดง from this one. Okay, so this is the what we call is the principal road, main road. A motorcycle just passed. You see whether this one we're giving you the green or not, or they have to wait a little bit. Maybe the gap is very long, but I'm sure that it will wait just a few seconds and we will get the green light for sure. The light is here. Okay. Now this is the stop sign. Okay, they got the green. See, got the green without waiting for a long time. It passed already. If the signal is a fixed time, I'm sure that other, direction like this side มาจากบ้านเรา or มาจากเทศบาลนาจักร we get the green light as well, which is not right. The minor street here should at this time should not get the green light at all. Only the main street they should get the green light. Okay. So this is example. Okay. And this one, this is at the another intersection. Okay, this one is a little in the city. Okay. The number showing here is the number of vehicle count. Okay. And the number above here is the peak hour factor. Okay. Peak hour factor. At this moment, on this side, okay, from มาจากสพ.ช่อแฮ this one, okay, it's just 16 true vehicles. Turning left is 42 vehicles, and turning right is 4. Okay. From what I've seen here, the main road should be along this side, วัดอนันต์เชิง แล้วก็บ้านป่าแดง okay. These are main road. Okay. So they will get the green. But at this one, it's different from the previous intersection because the most shown here is the fixed time. Okay, fixed time BA. It's not adaptive. Okay, it's not adaptive. I'll talk about this later, about the difference between the mode, fixed time, and the adaptive. Okay, this is a different one. Let's take a look a little more in here. This one is a very small location. This one is three-way intersections. Okay, no more traffic. But let's take a look at the information of the summary. Okay, there's no counting information. There are other information showing here. Anyway, just to give you an idea of what the operations we can test in real world. So nowadays the signals can be controlled from my computer, from my laptop like this. Can be changed, can be modified, can be monitored. So we don't really need policemen to control the signals. Let the technology or the engine of the controller control the signals. Anyway, so okay. Is there any question here? Guys,
ครับผม
do you have any questions?
อาจารย์ครับผมเข้าไปดูไอ้เว็บในกล้องวงจรปิดอย่างนี้ได้เลยใช่ไหมครับ
ไม่ได้ครับ
อ๋อจะได้ครับอาจารย์
เพราะว่า is a security. Only authorized personnel can access. But yes, there were many cases when somebody got kind of a accident at the intersection. They will look at the video and they will look for some problems like whether they were on the, if like a collision at the intersection, they will look at who's wrong, who's right. But mostly there were one that we were always wrong. The one that we mostly found is the drunk driving. Driving, and they didn't look at the intersection, they didn't look at the traffic signal. And those who got hit usually be the victim, and the relatives of the victims will come and ask for the video footage that we whether we have it or not. My system design is to keep this video footage for at least 15 days. Okay, 15 days. So some may be able to look at the the evidence and identify who's wrong, who's right. Anything else? Maybe I don't know whether we can be physically physically meet in at the Department of Highways, so that I will show you some other cool things. This intersection that we just saw is just a few intersections that we installed, but there are more than that, and there are more information for you to show, like variable speed limit, like the speed enforcement, this kind of thing. Those are technologies that we can utilize in real world in Thailand road network. It's not, it's not new. It's not new anymore compared to developed countries. Okay, so I would like to stop at this point, and we'll continue on next Tuesday. At the end of this day, I will send you this record, okay, from Zoom, and share it on the same drive. Good drive. Okay. At this point, I would like to check you guys' name. Could you please turn on the video? Thank you.